One day I was across the street. I said, "Oh, my Aunt Chippy's coming over tonight," and my friend Cleto said, "Oh, can I come over?" I was like, "What?" He said, "Oh, they're hilarious," and he really opened my eyes to the fact that they were funny.
My name is Conchetta Mary Potenza.
Of your top 10, give me one.
Best prank?
Yep.
Most of them are directed at my Aunt Chippy.
I'm Jimmy Kimmel's Aunt Chippy.
Had my Aunt Chippy's house painted bright orange while she was at work one day.
I don't want to say he's crazy. He's not crazy. He's crazy with a program in mind.
There's no end to my amusement with her.
And is there any end to her amusement with her nephew?
It ended when I was born.
Today, I'm going to react to Jimmy's episode of Finding His Roots. Our roots. Somebody's roots. God help us. Just give us the roots.
Growing up, Jimmy realized his mother's Italian-American relatives were a comedic goldmine, so he started paying attention.
I would actually sit there with an audio tape recorder and I would record the family having dinner. I have a sequence committed to memory. I listen to it so much. My Uncle Frank is trying to pour ketchup out of the bottle and you hear him say, "Chip, how do you pour this?" And he's shaking. She goes, "Frank, you gotta shake it. Frank, you gotta open it, Frank." He had the cap on.
It's true.
"You gotta open it before it'll goddamn pour out."
He would do things like that. He would try and pour the ketchup without opening up the top of it. What the hell is your head?
And it was from that moment on that I started studying them, like Jane Goodall.
Jimmy Kimmel had asked me to help him explore the maternal side of his family, the family he spent time with as a kid.
Yeah, who are those people?
Those are my grandparents, Sal and Edith. Sorry, I get emotional.
No, it's okay, buddy.
I feel the same way. He's like almost crying. I feel the same way. You mentioned their name.
Were your grandparents a big part of your childhood?
Never met them.
You're crazy.
No, we were very close.
That's true. It's funny. We all get that same reaction when you mention my mother and father. It's almost like, I wish they were still around. You know, that they're there, but they're not. They're not there. My father was an exceptional man. Jimmy's crazy with his antics, but my father was too. Humor was very important. My father was one of 8 kids. They did nothing but pranks on each other. They just were that kind of a family. Every time you were with them, it was always laughing. They were jokers in my father's family, every one of them. So it was kind of nice, that, his grandsons took after him. Oh, my dad.
Jimmy told me that he wanted to know about his beloved grandfather Sal's parents, Vincenzo and Maria Icano. Vincenzo and Maria came from the town of Casamicciola on the tiny Italian island of Ischia. On the night of July 28, 1883, Ischia was devastated by an earthquake. Jimmy had heard stories that Vincenzo only survived because he and his mother were attending the opera in nearby Naples when the earthquake struck.
But Jimmy, that theater still exists, so we went there, and the records don't indicate that any play was staged that night.
She was having an affair.
But we did, however, find evidence of a performance at Casamicciola, and we believe it's highly likely that your great-grandfather Vincenzo and his mom were there, not in Naples.
Vincenzo and his mother survived the earthquake not because they were in Naples, but because the theater was built of wood, not stone, and thus better withstood the trembling earth. Meanwhile, Vincenzo's father and 3 of his siblings died.
It's funny, you get upset about people that you don't even know.
He and I crying at the same time. What the hell's wrong with us, Jimmy?
Yeah, and their food is part of, my life.
Their smells, their tastes.
Yeah.
Their sense of humor.
Aunt Chippy, stop being a piss eyes. Aunt Chippy, they want to get it right. Could you just, take the tears out of your face? Okay. People think that having a lot of money to leave to your family is important. Material things don't last. They're temporary. But people last through generations. They last, and they give you what's really important in life.
We should know our history, and I think to know the history of your country and the world, it's important to know the history of your family first, and I can't think of anything, for me, more interesting than this.
I'm glad he is who he is. I think it's wonderful that he cares enough to know where he's from, to know what his background is, and what he's handing off to his children. And I'm proud of him. Don't tell him that. He'll take advantage of me.